front. Okay, now your neck. In front and back. In front and back. In front and back. One side and the other. One side and the other. So listen to me. If I say up, you are going to put your arms up. If I said side, you are going to put your arms side. If I said left, you are going to move in front and side. Okay? Ready? 1, 2, 3, side. In front, up, neck, next, up, down, up, side, in front, back, up, down, down. Okay, now everybody stamping your feet again. Very good, Sophia. Nathaniel, very good. Okay, now stop. Remember that it's Friday and we need to have a lot of energy today, ¿verdad? Okay, so we're going to inhale and exhale. Very good, Anna Grace, very good. Now, we are going to start dancing. Move. Very good, Diego, like that. Excellent. Very good, Leighton. Ladies, I think that Leighton and Adnan dance better than you do. Very good. Okay. Yes, Alazar, I'm waiting for you. You can move. Okay, very good. Excellent. Now, everybody, inhale. Exhale. Again, inhale. And exhale. The last time, very deep. Inhale. And exhale with a shout. Oh! One more time. 1, 2, 3. Inhale. And exhale. Now, everybody, please sit down. Thank you so much. Now, today we're going to start our class with science. Remember that yesterday we were talking about the sexual characteristics of male and female. Today we are going to talk about fertilization. And the first thing, it's about pregnancy. We're going to watch a video first, okay? And please, I'm going to talk about the video as soon as we finish. Okay, guys?
Yeah.
People at home, ready?
Okay. Ready.
Yes, very good. Okay, wait for me. Good. Let's check, please.
The product of millions of years of evolution, the human body is capable of many remarkable things, but none of which may be quite so incredible as the development of life in utero. Over 3 million babies are born each year in the United States alone. Worldwide, the highest fertility rate is found in Niger, where the average woman gives birth to approximately 6.49 children in her lifetime. Singapore sits on the opposite end of the spectrum at just 0.83, less than 1 birth per woman. While the number of births, customs, and traditions vary from culture to culture, the developmental process is essentially universal. Derived from the Latin word praegnantem, meaning before birth, pregnancy is the period in which the fetus develops inside the womb. Typically lasting around 40 weeks, human pregnancies are divided into 3 trimesters of 3 months each. Pregnancy begins in the uterus, where a sperm fertilizes an egg. If the sperm carries an X chromosome, the baby will become female, while a Y chromosome will result in the baby becoming male. The fertilized egg, or zygote, divides repeatedly as it travels through the fallopian tube, implanting itself on the uterine wall to form both the embryo and a specialized organ known as the placenta. Found only in eutherian or placental mammals, the placenta will manage waste and provide key nutrients, oxygen, and hormones via the umbilical cord. The brain, which will continue to grow and develop throughout the pregnancy, makes up nearly half of the embryo in these early stages. As the eyes, nose, ears, and mouth, along with all major organs, continue to develop in month 3, the baby will begin to look more and more human with each passing day. The second trimester lasts from weeks 13 to 27. The fetus will more than double in size during this time, and soon its movements may be felt by the mother. Hearing first develops around week 18, but the fetus will not respond to sounds outside of the womb until approximately week 25. Starting at week 28 and lasting up until delivery, the third trimester is a time for final touches such as eyelashes and taste buds. With most major development complete, the fetus will gain nearly half a pound a week. To make room for this rapid growth, the mother's internal organs adjust significantly throughout the pregnancy. Dropping lower into the pelvis, a fetus typically turns heads down in preparation for birth. Most bones will have hardened by this time, though the skull will remain relatively soft to ease the delivery process. Labor is divided into stages, beginning with the dilation of the cervix and resulting in the delivery of both the baby and the placenta. Despite thousands of years of human pregnancies, scientific understanding has only recently begun to catch up, leading to an increase in success and safety for both mother and child. As our understanding of pregnancy continues to develop, so do technology and reproductive medicine, with much more in store for the future of pregnancy.
Okay, well, we're going to start with our topic, and I need that all of you take out your science book, please. And open it. I'm sorry. Yes. I'm sorry. Yes. Now, we're going to open our science book on pages 34 and 35. As I told you before, and as we watch in the video, we're going to start talking about pregnancy and fertilization. Now, Christy, what do you know about this topic? Christy? Christy? Okay, Diego, you.
Like the video shows the development of a baby, since all the hormones, the sperm cell and the ovule, and the ovule joins, and then it goes through to the uterus, and the baby starts growing.
Exactly. Okay, now, obviously, we are so involved in the topic. Why? Because obviously we are a product of a fertilization, okay? Now, the first thing that we need to notice is that we are going to have sex cells. Remember that we checked that the endocrine system produced the hormones were produced because the endocrine system has some glands, and we are going to have this as our result.
Teacher, and the glands that produce these hormones are the ovaries and the testes, right?
Exactly. The glands that produce these hormones will be the ovaries and the testes. Now we're going to start with our number 1, that is sex cells. Can you help me later, please?
Male and female sex cells take part in the process of production.
Or reproduction. Okay, Christy, help me. Egg cells are?
Yes, teacher. Egg cells are the female cells. They are large and round. From puberty on, one egg cell matures and passes through a fallopian tube approximately every 28 days.
Very good. Now, Renata, sperm.
Thank you. Sperm are the male sex cells. They are very small. They have a white head, a small body, and a long tail to move about. From puberty on, 2 million
200 million.
200 million or more of these cells are produced every day.
Very good. And there we have the image of these sex cells. We have the sperm cell and also we have the egg cell. Can you see? Now the sperm has different parts. Can you name the parts, Camila Hernandez, please?
Tail, nucleus, body, and head.
Okay, tail, nucleus, body, and head. And which are the parts of the egg cell, Camila Torresillas?
It's only nucleus.
Only the nucleus. So, if I ask you which are my sex cells, you are going to tell me that what, Nicole? Miranda? Which are the sex cells?
The egg cells and sperm.
The egg cells and the sperm. Okay, very good. Now, we are going to go to the next stage. How these two sex cells will join, and then we are going to have this new process that is called fertilization. Okay, Diego, I hear you.
Fertilization occurs when an egg cell and sperm cell unite. This happens when the egg cell meets a sperm cell in one of the fallopian tubes.
Fallopian tubes. Okay, can you please continue reading, Macario, the union?
Yes, teacher.
We are in fertilization, Macario. In the second paragraph.
The union.
The union,
The union of egg and sperm cell produce a cell called
a zygote.
zygote. This is the first cell of new human being. Then the zygote divides and becomes two cells. After that, it divides again and becomes four cells. It divides again and again and again and gets bigger. Finally, it becomes an embryo.
Embryo. An embryo. Okay, so imagine when the sperm cell and the egg cell join together, they are going to form a new cell, okay? And this cell will be divided in 2, then in 4, then in 8, like the equivalent fractions, something like that divided and divided until they form a zygote. Okay, what will be a zygote according with my reading?
It's the union of an egg cell and a sperm cell.
Is the new cell that it's the result of the union of an egg cell and the sperm, okay? Now, after that, after this cell divided and divided and divided, as Macario said, what happens? Finally, we are going to obtain what?
An embryo.
An embryo, okay? An embryo or embryo, okay? So, we have that little baby. And many people think that the embryo is not a living thing, okay? But it is, since the moment that the egg cells joins the sperm, we have a new life, okay? So even though it's a cell, it's a new life, okay? So that's why many people it's against of these new things that we have today about the abortion and things like that, okay?
Yes.
Now,
Teacher,
yes.
when it's abortion, what do the doctors do to like kill the...
No, there are many. First of all, they cannot do that process after the certain weeks, okay? Certain amount of weeks, especially when they are in the 3rd or the 4th month. After that period, they cannot practice the abortion process. But before, many doctors give some medication or maybe surgery, okay? So they give the patient first medicine and then they remove the product. Okay? Very good. Let's continue, please, Julieta Rodriguez. The embryo
The embryo continues through the fallopian tube to the uterus. There it attaches itself to one of the walls.
Please come in.
If the egg cell is not fertilized, it travels through the uterus and leaves the body through the
Vagina.
This is accompanied by minor bleeding called menstruation or a period. The first menstruation is considered the beginning of puberty.
The beginning of puberty. Okay, very good. Can you continue, please, Patricio? Women. Patricio, that I cannot see you. Your cam is closed, sweetie. Patricio. Okay. Women, stop.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, women start producing egg cells when they are about 50 years old. Menstruation stops then too. This is the beginning of the state of life called
Menopause. Very good. Very good. Now, let me tell you, for example, women which are very young, since the moment they start with this menstruation period, they can be pregnant. They can become pregnant, okay? But as long as the years passes, when you get my age, for example, you are going to start with a new stage that is called menopause, okay? So I cannot have babies anymore, for example. I am going to have grandchildren, but not babies, okay? Yes, Diego.
I was saying that that I think that when a woman is after like the 36 years old, the baby can form like, how do you say the forming?
Well, how can I say? The suggested age to have a baby is between 20 and 32 years. Why? Because the body of a woman will be healthier in that moment of life. But what happens if a woman, she got pregnant after that age or that stage? Yes, they can have a baby, they can be pregnant, but obviously the body is not as strong enough as the other time, okay? So the recommendation is, the suggestion is that they become pregnant between 20 and 32. But if they got pregnant, after that, they are going to have other risks. And one of the risks is that the baby has a disability, for example, okay? It could be a mental or maybe a body disability, okay? But it's not a rule because